Is there a magic death song? Let's talk about this. Did the devil himself write a magic song that brings death to anyone who hears it? If you want to find out more, keep watching because it's coming up right after this. Did you know there's a magic death song that's so supernaturally depressing that anyone who listens to it commits suicide? If you want to know more about this song, then keep watching. Hi, welcome back to Real World Magic, where we make your life more magical. My name's Neil Trigger, I'm going to be your magical host, and in today's video I'm going to be talking to you about Gloomy Sunday, also known as the Hungarian magical suicide song. Gloomy Sunday is well known in itself as a creepypasta. I remember reading about it in the late 1980s and early 1990s. Back then, creepypastas like Gloomy Sunday, the Suicide Song, were written in things called books. The internet was only being used by nerdy scientists to share data, and the World Wide Web was yet to be invented. Fact-checking back then was long and boring work, because you had to refer to your 6 million alphabetically ordered copies of the Encyclopaedia Britannica, and no one wants to do that. If it wasn't there, you just had to trust that the book that you read was probably true, and often it wasn't. So here's the story as it was relayed to me, and if you're looking for some cosy fireside Christmas cheer, you may prefer to tune in next time, because this one is maybe even a little bit scary. So according to this book, there's a song that was written by a jilted musical genius. He was so in love with his girlfriend that he planned on proposing marriage to her. Sadly, she dumped him, typical, the same day that he was actually going to propose, which was a Sunday. So he stayed in and wrote the song that ultimately became known as the tune Gloomy Sunday. He left the sheet music along with his suicide note as a final curse to his lost love, and then he jumped out of the window. Presumably he wasn't on the first floor because he died. But did he? According to the book, when the police discovered the note and the sheet music, they completed their investigation and returned both to the musician's family, who took the unwise decision to publish the suicide note to the music that was left with it, because the suicide note went eerily to the music. The song was published as Gloomy Sunday and was said to be so depressing that two of the artists who played the music on the original recording killed themselves. When it was released, it shot to the top of the musical singles chart before being banned because people were killing themselves left, right and centre after listening to it. Radio broadcasts were cancelled, and after several bodies were found dead with the vinyl record still crackling on the record player.
Yes, we had record players before tapes, and tapes before CDs, and CDs before MP3s, and MP3s before streaming media.
So anyway, it was still crackling on the record player when police arrived, and a blanket ban on the sale of the record was issued. It was rumoured far and wide that the musical genius had poured his own soul into the music and cursed the song and his lover forever, or else that he had sold his soul to the devil in exchange for prodigious musical skill. The story went that the musician made a deal with the devil to write a powerfully seductive song, but his girlfriend discovered the deal, left him, and the musician himself then killed himself. This naturally meant that the devil had not completed his side of the bargain for the musician's soul. Therefore, it was said that the devil himself completed the musician's final work for him after the musician killed himself too soon. This concluded their bargain, and the musician's soul would be eternally damned. The BBC refused to play the song, and eventually Gloomy Sunday, the magical death song, faded from memory. Okay, so that's the creepypasta side of the story. So is it true? Well, some of it. Gloomy Sunday started out as a song written by Hungarian pianist and composer Rezo Serez, and yes, it was published in 1933. It even became fairly popular too, but not as a song called Gloomy Sunday, not yet at least. The original song was in Hungarian and was titled The World is Ending, or Vége Világnak. That doesn't sound great as a starting point, but it was more focused on the depression caused by war and ended with a quiet prayer about the sins of man. So what happened to this actual real-life song to make it such a creepy albeit untrue, creepypasta or urban legend? Well, it probably started when a poet got his hands on the song. Poet Laszlo Javor rewrote the lyrics as if someone had lost their lover and then committed suicide as a result. You might want to note here that nobody actually did in this story, at least not yet, but it is a story that fits quite well to the music. The latter set of lyrics massively outstripped the original in terms of popularity. The earlier version became pretty much forgotten, while the newer version was recorded by Pal Kalmar in 1935, 2 years after it was originally penned. It was then re-recorded by Hal Kemp in English as Gloomy Sunday the following year, which is fairly fast, I guess, but long enough for Chinese whispers to start spreading about the effect that this song was having in its native Hungary. According to the reports of the time and the areas involved, at least 19 suicides were attributed to the song in 1933 alone. And remember, that was when the song was first published to a pretty mediocre reception in Hungary as the war song. What with the rise of famine, poverty, and the growing influence of the Nazis in Europe, Hungarian suicide rates were increasing anyway, but no studies have shown a specific link to the song. To add fuel to the rumours about the song, in January of 1968, about 35 years after the song was first written, the composer did take his own life. As for the famous banning of the song by the BBC, well, they did ban Billie Holiday's version of it because it was deemed detrimental to wartime morale. However, it did allow instrumental versions of the song. It also lifted the ban in 2002, and no ill effects seem to have stemmed from that, but I do wonder how often it's still played. No other evidence of radio bans or suicides have ever been found, and if you really want to listen to the song yourself, search for Gloomy Sunday, the Suicide Song on YouTube. You'll find it all there. But just be warned, while no evidence has been found that the creepypasta tune is true, the devil does use many tricks to cover his hooven tracks. I'm not including it here because it's too terrifying. No, it's actually something to do with copyright. Don't worry about it. You know, I just realised, when it comes to the devil's tracks, maybe they don't mean hoof tracks, maybe they mean musical tracks. Personally, I think Sam Smith is the devil's music. Either that or it's just crap. Let's move on, shall we? Okay, so that was a little bit darker than my usual video. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please remember to click the like button because it lets YouTube know that it was a good video and more people should see it. If you want to see some more of this kind of thing, please click the subscribe button and ding that bell to turn on notifications. Since Christmas is coming up very soon, I wanted to let you know that I've got posters, mugs, potions, t-shirts and hoodies like this one. I'll put a picture there. Available on my web store, and the links are down in the description of this video. Massive thanks to my fabulous patrons and members. Yes, I have members. Down next to the subscribe button you'll see a join button if you haven't already, and they help me out every single month, and you can become one of these wonderful people over on patreon.com/realworldmagic, or just click the join button below, or you can buy me a one-off cider at PayPal, and either way I will love you forever. That's it from me for another video. Thanks very much for watching. I'll be back next week with some more magical awesomeness. But until next time, as always,
Stay magical.
Please subscribe to Real World Magic. While you're there, click the bell button to be notified of future uploads, and have a look at all of my social stuff. Remember to donate on Patreon if you really, really liked it, and I'll see you again next week.